What's a dead giveaway that someone is not actually as wealthy as they claim? Making the claim at all is a dead giveaway. 90% of the wealthy shut the fuck about it. Because they learn once they start making good money everyone wants a piece. X200B. Talking about it constantly broke AF. People who actually are wealthy mostly try to hide it. As a person which knows many very rich people, I can guarantee that not a single one of them wants to be known as rich. When they repeatedly and adamantly tell you how wealthy they are, when they constantly talk about how wealthy they are, a genius doesn't need to tell you they are smart, an athlete doesn't need to tell you they are fit, and a rich person shouldn't need to tell you they are wealthy. I feel like actual rich people prioritize vacations, travel, buying their kids' cars, paying for their kids' grandkids' tuition. They don't spend money on flashy or luxury stuff as much. Not having actual money? I allegedly used to sell weed to a lot of people with nice houses, cars, lives on paper, etc., but the amount of times I had to spot people until they got paid on Friday was truly astounding. Ever notice how those jet-setting influencers that post their pictures out of the airplane window are behind the wing? They're in coach. The picture in business is where they stop to pose on the way through. Private jet pilot friend of mine said for the slightly wealthy they bring loads of luggage. The ultra-rich bring a day bag. They have enough money to buy clothes when they get there or already have clothes waiting on them. I'm not well versed in judging someone's wealth, but I do notice that the fake rich only look rich on social media and try their hardest to go to popular locations celebrities post. I know a couple of friends who took out a loan just to keep up the facade that they're all in on the latest iPhones and wearables. They built a persona of being a rich kid, so now they have to stay the course. I never met a wealthy person that talks about it. They don't need to. They make a goofy advertisement for some book or course that will help you get rich too. If they were actually rich, they would be on some tropical beach engaging in whatever vices they enjoy most, not hawking some get rich quick scheme. Money talks. Wealth whispers. Anyone that posts about their wealth, whether it be bragging or posting about a new purchase, etc., usually aren't as well off as they pretend to be. My dad's entire job is managing millionaire-billionaire philanthropy accounts, so I've grown up surrounded by some of the wealthiest people in the country. And I never knew until I got older how these Mr. Smith and Ms. Jones people that I'd grown up hanging out with were anything above upper middle class. Normal clothes, modest homes, very down-to-earth and funny people. Big wealth, and especially old wealth, is quiet wealth. Designer clothes with massive brand name icons tailored to those who want to seem as if they can afford it and pay ridiculous amounts of money. When they're in shock that I grew up with 4 people and only 1 bathroom and shower. So you all shared 1 shower? When they flaunt it, really rich people don't feel the need to mention the expensive things they bought or did. Every time they want to go away with you for the weekend and tell you they'll have the Gulfstream G550 pick you up at the local airfield Friday evening. You show up at the airfield only to find that G550 is really a barely functioning 74 Cessna 150, with the passenger seat ripped out for skydiving. A stack of losing lottery tickets. You know, all these Insta girls living the life aboard magnificent luxurious yachts. Well, their currency is their ass. Having been around some super wealthy people, I would say that a giveaway of a false rich person would be knowing the price of things. If someone keeps telling you that the X they got cost $, and that Y cost $, they are trying to flex on you. Really wealthy people don't know the price of things. Or at least the price of things that we the poor know. They might know the price of their yacht jet helicopter. They don't know the price of the car they drive, the clothes they wear, the tech they use. They just pay or have their people pay for them. Sorry, but Gucci clothes. It screams wanna be rich. Food stockpiling. There is too much food going bad in the pantries of all the individuals I know who were raised in poverty, including myself. They constantly hit up people for money or to cover their tabs. Teeth, shoes, and an expensive car sitting outside a mediocre or crappy house. Brand names plastered over everything they own. The Lambo is a rental or a Firo kit car. They get hauled into court on fraud charges for overstating the value of their properties in order to grift money from lenders. Lotta gaudy gold furnishings that don't seem to actually have any money. You see it a lot in things like sports teams takeovers. Billionaires who claim to be backed by a consortium of other billionaires. But when it comes to actually putting money up, there's always a delay or a problem. According to the Waltons, it's their shoes. International dollar student dollar. When one of your floormates in res just gives all of their clothes away at the end of the school year. They invite you somewhere but split the bill between everybody. When my true wealthy friends invite me somewhere, they will pay for everything because they know I can't afford it. And they don't make it awkward at all. When your former fixer testifies against them in court that they are not as wealthy as they claim. I love how everyone here knows what rich people do and don't do. Willing to bet there's some rich dude reading all this shit and laughing his ass off. My father is quite wealthy. Growing up I would ask him randomly, how much do you make? Or how much money do you have? His answer was always the same. If someone asks you, just tell them you don't know. It used to irk me to no end, but being older now I realize how wise his answer was. It didn't matter how much money. Just that looking back on growing up, we never needed for anything. He never needed to brag about it or flaunt it. And he sure as hell was never going to let his kids become spoiled pricks either. I have some very wealthy friends. Dudes in their 30s who are multi-millionaires. And the one thing they all have in common is that they never talk about money. They wear nice clothes and watches, but they don't point out anything or talk about how expensive things are. I also belong to a yacht club and a country club, and the wealthy people that I know never talk about money either. Really wealthy people don't talk about being wealthy because they are used to being wealthy. How much they work. Work with a teacher who drives a really expensive car, dresses really nice, and complains about having to work 2 jobs. You know why they work 2 jobs? Because they can't afford the shit they bought and are in debt. I don't work much because I am okay with thrift store clothes and used cars. Being in debt is not wealth. It is just spending other people's money you can't afford. They're on a Bravo TV show. Teeth. Truly wealthy have either taken care of their teeth over the years or have expensive replacement implants sets. We could afford the payment, so we just went for it. Having to ask your supporters for donations for your legal defense. They've traveled all over the world since high school. During their breaks in between university. How come you don't travel? Yes, Sarah, I would love to get blackout in other countries. However, I have to work when not in school to pay for school.